It's New Year's Eve 2002. I'm 45. This is probably the first time I'd been out for New Year's Eve for 20 years. New South Wales State Government criminally and secretly changed my face. They did it without my consent and to make me look like someone else after they stole my visual identity to use globally as the face of a 14-year-old bikie murder victim. Over the next 2 years, Goulburn, New South Wales police illegally arrested me several times, having committed no crime whatsoever. New South Wales State Government had me falsely defamed and illegally penalised in Goulburn Local Court using a police prosecutor from Canberra ACT. I was illegally gagged because I asked New South Wales Police to investigate political crimes that resulted in my surgical rape and false ID as a murder victim. By 2012, New South Wales and Canberra's federal government made a TV miniseries on the events that involved their fake murder victim with my face. They called it FREEMASON Brothers in Arms Bikie Wars. They didn't actually say Freemason, but that's what it was all about. The pathetic Australian government terrorism saga is on my website by many names, including walladillyshire.com. I'm 64 in all the following photos, snapped the same day in 2021. Since their 1990s secreted surgical rapes to me, they refused to acknowledge the surgical rapes. Then and now, I've been pleading with Australia's government public officers to allow me my legal rights that I'm supposed to have without pleading. In 1990s, the government employed perverts who medically mutilated me with illegal microwave communication active implants. They also injected me with then outlawed silicone under my skin, all over my face and all over me, my arms and my legs and my torso. Only our Australian government public officer perverts and their equally perverted Labor and Liberal political parties know exactly why they medically mutilated me to such an incredible extent and refuse to acknowledge it. However, it only takes an educated guess to understand the depths of their perversions and their depravities and their intentions to murder citizens who get in their way for political greatness and personal wealth. I've lived a very sedate life. I've had no excesses or abuse of anything, of any substance or any kind or anything. I've always had even temper, all that sort of thing. And I'm at my recommended weight for height. I've never been any heavier. In fact, until about 10 years ago, I was below my weight for height and have been all my life. So I don't have any stretched skin on my face. I don't have any stretched skin anywhere apart from my belly when I was pregnant, I guess. But I don't have any stretched skin on my face, and the reason my face is saggy is because the silicone has been rocking around in my face for the last 30 years, and gravity has done its work as if it was fat sitting in there, because it's obviously the same sort of weight as fat would be. So I had to actually put on weight in the last decade, because I was at my same weight that I was when I was in high school, but I felt sick, as if I was malnourished. But obviously this silicone weighs like it's taking place of me, inside of me. The silicone evidently hides illegal implants underneath it, like the active implants underneath the silicone, because the silicone would hide it in radiology. And there's nowhere, literally nowhere on my face that doesn't spark. Literally, even up my nostrils, everything sparks. My whole face sparks, and it sparks up into my scalp, around the top of my head, the entire top part of my head, from my hairline right the back to my crown. The entire top of my head sparks. So it's all the top of my head and my face. It all sparks, and then down my throat and through my body and around me and all over the place. But it seems to start with the head. It seems like they've erected one ginormous aerial inside me so as to lengthen the transmission, possibly so as they could transmit to or from me from a bloody fucking satellite up in the sky. And they appear to have powered it so long using my breathing, a method that was outlawed in the United Kingdom, according to my research, which actually proves that that particular method is a real thing and not a science fiction.